Education 602 Physical Education A, The Modern Philosophies of Education.
Hello! 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 Good morning everyone! Magandang araw in Tagalog, mayong aga in Ilonggo, mayong buntag in Bisaya, and mapya mapita sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim. I am Sir Javon Lagdaminic Ban. And this is my partner, Ma'am Mary Rose Copia. And our topic is all about
Reconstructivism.
So today's reporting, we will tackle about the meaning of Reconstructivism, the advantage and disadvantage of Reconstructivism, the philosophy of education, the philosopher, and the aims of education. So now, let's start!
What is Reconstructionism, also known as Social Reconstructionism? This theory claims to be the true successor of Progressivism and declares that the chief purpose of education is to reconstruct society in order to meet the cultural crisis brought about by social, political, and economic problems.
So now let's discuss the difference between Reconstructivism and Reconstructionism.
Reconstructivism is a theory or a philosophy of education that focuses on the student. Ibig sabihin, student-centered siya or learner-centered. Ang mga students ang gumagawa ng mga activities, assignments, or other requirements na pinapagawa ng mga teachers. While Reconstructionism is a method or strategies used to apply the theory of Reconstructivism. At ang Reconstructionism, ito ay mga tasks or activities na binibigay ng teacher sa kanyang mga students. What is the aim of Reconstructionism? It improves and reconstructs society or education for change. While the teacher's role is the agent of change and reform. What is the focus? Transformation of present to future landscape. And what is the trends? Global education, convergence, and transformative education.
So now let's discuss the Social Reconstructionism philosophy.
It emphasizes the addressing of social questions and a quest to create a better society and a worldwide democracy. It is a philosophical approach that challenges essentialism and other rigid and dogmatic points of view. In short mga ka-friendship, it calls current standards in order to provide new perspectives on social, political, or economic and other relevant issues in our society. That's the meaning of Social Reconstructionism philosophy.
For example, in a classroom setting, in a traditional way, they use chalk and blackboard. But now, in modern era, they use gadgets.
So now let's discuss the Social Reconstructionism in education. Allowing students to be involved in leadership roles at school. The goal is to eliminate any oppression within the educational system. And this includes racism, sexism, homophobia, classicism, and more, so that the students can speak up and advocate for change. It focuses on empowering the learner to take control of their own learning. It has been argued that this approach is most effective for the learners who struggle with more traditional and linear styles of learning. And it is clearly stated that it is a learner-centered or student-centered. This philosophy is designed so that the learners experience learning in an environment where they are treated like democratic participants. Teachers are there to help and to guide only, not to control. It is a philosophy that leaves room for the idea of progress and the notion that education is a lifelong and not just a process of merely learning skills to be used at work.
So now, let's proceed to Social Reconstructionism in classroom.
Reconstructionism in the classroom, the need for a curriculum that is more inclusive of all learners, or a push for the inclusion of Reconstructionism in education. How Reconstructionism can provide an authentic and holistic approach to learning, and the benefits of having a teacher who models empathy, compassion, and understanding. So it brings students into their community. Ideally, Students would spend half of their time in the classroom and the other half outside of the classroom in different settings. So now we have Reconstructionism in curriculum, social activism, reform, or change. The curriculum would encourage students to directly apply what they are learning through social activism, reform, and change. As part of the Reconstructionism, the curriculum would use service learning and discussion groups to teach while also bringing the world into the classroom and the students out into their community. So the focus of the curriculum would encourage students to become curious and inquire about world with the goal of having them reinvent it.
Sir, I have a question. Bakit democratic ba ang Reconstructivism? Kasi goal-seeking interest siya. So majority of humankind, yun po ang masusunod. Thank you, sir. You are welcome.
Char.
So let's tackle about the advantages and disadvantages of Reconstructionism in education.
So let's start with the advantages. Reconstructionism in education is a philosophy of educational movement that advocates for teaching history and other academic subjects from the perspectives of people who were directly affected by them. So this approach teaches students about their own histories and those of others around the world. It is more engaging and allows students to understand better the material they are learning. And Reconstructionists believe that the Bible is a reliable source of knowledge. Reconstructionism emphasizes the importance of understanding God's will for our lives and how we can live in accordance with it. So now let's proceed to disadvantages. So number 1, it can be difficult for the teachers to implement this teaching style because they must change their entire curriculum. Which also has drawbacks. It can be difficult for teachers to find resources on topics outside their expertise, and some feel like this approach leaves out of important information.
So the main principle of this education is never settle on what is, but what might be. And to summarize this philosophy, please listen to this.
Centers on the idea of constant change, a quest for a better society and a worldwide democracy, and highlights social reform.
Thank you very much for listening. Ma'am Mary Rose, it's your turn now. Bye-bye.